What's good, y'all? It's your boy T-Main. I'm back with something a little different this time. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 plus 2. Now I ain't gonna lie, listen, like this is a decent game. You feel me? It don't hit like Project 8 like it did back in the day. I mean, like this is basically the remastered versions of Pro Skater 1 and 2 from back then. I didn't play them back then, but from what I heard, like I heard them hoes was lit back in the day. Uh, but the ones I grew up on is Tony Hawk's Project 8. To me, that is the greatest skateboard game of all time. Um, and then American Wasteland, that one was solid too. Um, the thing I remember on that one is like you could ride bikes and stuff like that. On Project 8, you couldn't do that. But Project 8, man, is to me the greatest skateboard game of all time made by Activision. To me, that is that's one game that they absolutely need to bring back. It originally came out on the PS2, I think back in 2005, 06, and then they remastered it later on in 2006. But what was crazy was I did some research on it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think actually they was waiting on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 to release around 2006. So when that happened, technically they made the next gen version first. They made the next gen version of their game first. And then they basically made, like a PS2 version, one that that the graphics was downgraded and it didn't have the same capabilities that the PS3 version had. So the PS3 version, it had the same map as the PS2 for the most part. I want to say like 85 to 90% of the map is the same. But on next gen, the map was open world, which means like you can, on that whole, like it was open world. Like when you did the missions to unlock the next level or the next part of the city, it was open world, like you can look, like literally you can just skate like through, like as if it's like a big open world city. I mean, like kind of how it is like on GTA. Kind of how it is on when 2K, since 2K21 made the city on next gen, it's been like a big city. I mean, it's been open world, right? On the PS2 version of Tony Hawk's Project 8, I remember, yes, it was the same map, but at the same time, it wasn't free roam. I mean, it was free roam, but like every part of the map that you unlocked, like it was blocked off by like a fence or some sort of gate, which means what's the best way I can explain that? I'm trying to see. I mean, like basically, like it wasn't open world. Like they basically took the map from next gen Tony Hawk Project 8, but they sorted it into levels, but the levels was all blocked off with gates and fences, so you literally couldn't even open world at all. Like in order to access other parts of that city, you literally had to unlock the next part of the city, if that makes sense. But on next gen, if you just did the missions, which are the same missions are on PS2, it's just open world. Like the gate opens and then you literally just free roam into the next city. So I ain't gonna lie, like I did get the PS2 version at first because everybody, I mean, well, me personally, I only had a PS2 at that time, so I did get Tony Hawk's Project 8 on PS2, for sure. What I remember though is I was in Walmart one night and it was late that night, and there's another game called Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, but I thought that game was Project 8. So I'm in the store and I you know, like every kid, they go to Walmart, right? And they go immediately to the toys, or they immediately go to the electronics, the game section, right? That's when they have the little games like this. We used to play like this on the little PS2s and shit, but they don't have that no more. Shit, niggas done got the acting up, trying to steal the shit, and they don't do that no more. But I remember seeing Tony Hawk's Project 8, because at that time they still had the little game disc out for people to get. Nowadays shit is locked behind like a little clear glass. You have to ask a sales associate to like get the hoe out so you can buy it, but it wasn't like that back then. So back then they had the games out, you know, like they had San Andreas too for like $19.96, which was $20. So, but I thought Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam was Project 8, because at that time I didn't know what Project 8 meant. Like everywhere I went during that time, I seen Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam, and I'm like, yo, that whole look fun as hell. So I end up getting the game, and I'm like, yo, this ain't Downhill Jam. This is Project 8. And I remember my auntie, she was like, all right, don't be on that game all day. I mean, I'm sorry, all night. You got school in the morning. But you know, me as a kid, I didn't listen to that. And man, I played Tony Hawk Project 8 all night long, bro. That was crazy, man. Like, I fell in love with that game. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that's one of my childhood games, man. It's cool. Like, you can create you a dude on there, or a girl. You can change the character's clothes. They had different missions and stuff that you can do. The missions were sorted into 3 levels. Like you had amateur, you had pro, and then sick. So, and the point of the Project 8 game was, so supposedly Tony Hawk was in town, and the goal was to end up in the top 8 skaters, and you have a chance to like skate in front of Tony Hawk, which I guess earned your big break and to like get rich and make it to the league, or make it to the skateboard league, or what it X Games or whatever it is. But like Tony Hawk, man, that yeah, he is the GOAT. He is the greatest skateboarder of all time for sure. But I just remember that game being so fun because they had different game modes. Like, first of all, the physics in that game was fake, but that's what made the game fun. Like, yes, in real life, niggas ain't doing backflips and front flips, doing acid drops and spine transfers and shit like that. Yes, that ain't realistic, like without damn near killing yourself. But in a game, like, especially on PS2, it was just so fun. It was lit. You know what I mean? Like, the physics was funny. It was cool. If you max out your skateboard attributes, you can get so high in the air. And like the game modes that they have specifically, like besides the story mode, like you can split the screen like vertically or horizontally. And then on top of that, like the game modes, you had like graffiti, you had like tag and stuff like that, and of course freestyle. You and your homeboy, or you and your cousin or friend, whoever playing the game, like y'all two can just skate around the city and, you know, just chill and lay back and vibe, man. But I wish they would bring that game back, but I don't think Activision has any plans to like remaster any of those type of games. I feel like me personally, I feel like that game would make some money. I don't know about selling out, because like a lot of people wasn't a fan of Project 8. They more so of the Pro Skater 1 and 2, which is the gameplay y'all see in the background. Like I said, I didn't play the older versions of Pro Skater 1 and 2. Like, I've seen videos, but I mean, like, I played Project 8. But listen, man, like, share, subscribe if you're new, man, and I'm out.